Hello, we're back in Pleasantview for the final family in this first season 1 of this Let's Play series. And that is going to be going back to where it all started and going back to the Bruenig family. And they of course live over here. So let's join them and get to know them a bit better. So, we're back in this house and Marylena has just gotten back from the daycare center. There are no more toddlers here. That's not part of the family because they've all been moved into their proper families, and that will unlock this family, of course, for gameplay again. So let's start out with some character presentations. Here's Marylena. And I think we went through her character quite well the previous time. So she's an elementary school teacher and a Cancer. Her hobby is tinkering, and she's a secondary knowledge sim, and her lifetime wish is to graduate 3 children from college. And of course, she is married to Joe, and they have 3 children together. So Marylena grew up in Pleasantview, and she spent her whole life here, really. She's definitely very much a family sim, very caring and loving, and she enjoys just hanging out with her closest friends, her closest family, and having a good time and helping other people as well. She's been employed in the education career her whole life, and she's been taking care of toddlers for a very, very long time. And it seemed natural for her to take over the daycare center and become the kindergarten teacher in this neighborhood. So there are quite a lot of people, or well, children rather, in this neighborhood who have been taken care of by Marylena while their parents are at work and who likes her a lot. So she has a lot of friends who are youngsters, of course. Other than that, she really, really likes small dogs. Marylena has had a Cocker Spaniel for a very long time. And now she has 2 Chihuahuas that are adopted. So that's Scout and Lucky. And then she has been fairly close as well with Cassandra Goth and Jason Cormier, apparently, actually, which is a bit surprising. And then, of course, also with Marcia Cocker, who is Joe's daughter from his earlier marriage. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it looks fine. She recently employed Meadow as another caretaker at the daycare center, so Meadow will start to work with her from tomorrow and on. And yeah, she has actually been best friends forever with John Burb, but they have drifted apart a bit. And I think that she's also been pretty close with Andrea. So those are possibly relationships that I want to build again for her. And then and then also possibly Dorian Cocker, who is Marcia's husband, of course. Moving on to Joe. He is a fortune sim, and he is into sports, and he is a Scorpio. So very, very active, of course, then, but also fairly grouchy and serious. He's max fit, and that's because he really enjoys playing soccer, like many others in this neighborhood. And his secondary aspiration is family, actually, though. So that's definitely something that he wants to pay close attention to. And his lifetime wish is to reach golden anniversary. So it's not very long until Marylena ages up as well. It's 8 days, so actually it's a bit long, but as long as they stick together, that will make him fulfill his lifetime wish as well. And then looking at his family tree, of course, he had Marcia with his previous wife. Joe is, of course, the person who had the last name Bruenig from the start, and Marylena was Marylena Hamilton. Similarly to Marylena, Joe has also been living in Pleasantview his whole life, and he made a detour to the university in another city, of course, to get a higher education. He's a doctor. He's a general practitioner, so he works at the hospital right now. But except for that, he has been in Pleasantview, and this was also where he met his previous wife. And they had a very, very happy marriage, but unfortunately she had a very serious illness. And after Marcia had been born, things got progressively worse and worse for her. And Joe and Marcia actually ended up spending a lot of time with her in the hospital while Marcia was growing up, and that was something that just increased. And eventually it was almost like Joe and Marcia were the only ones living at home, and Joe's wife was constantly at the hospital. And even though Joe couldn't be on her case because of the close relationship, he was definitely there together with the doctors and nurses to supervise things and give his input, and trying everything that he could to affect how things were going. And being a little bit involved like that, he tried to really do everything in his power to help his wife. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough, and she ended up passing away despite that. And that is something that has been really resting heavily on Joe's shoulder ever since that, because he's constantly been wondering what he could have done differently to help her and save her. And that is something that he is feeling very guilty about and has been feeling guilty about his whole life. And he's also feeling really sorry for his daughter as well, because he has noticed how hard this has been on Marcia and how much it has influenced her life. And he can sense that she's not entirely happy with all of the explanations that she has received about why that happened to her mother. And he's also fearing that Marcia thinks that it's his fault. And that's something that he's carrying with him and that he hasn't really opened up to anyone about. Maybe a little bit to Marylena, but he certainly hasn't talked to Marcia about it. And having that luggage and that sad relationship in his backpack, Joe stayed single for a very, very long time. Joe and Marcia actually lived alone together in the same house that Marissa Bendett lives in right now, the little blue house. So they were actually neighbors with Marylena. That house is right here. And Joe and Marylena started to see quite a lot of each other being neighbors. And Marylena really thought that he was a great man, really impressive, attractive, and all of that. And she was head over heels in love with him very quickly. But Joe kept his distance. He didn't want to rush into a new relationship and forget about his wife, especially with all the guilt he was feeling. It was very difficult for him to move on. But eventually, Marylena wore him down, and it wasn't until at John and Brandy's wedding that he brought Marylena to the balcony in the church and fell down to his knees and proposed to her. And shortly after that, they got married as well, and they became a little family unit as well. And that, of course, was when Joe and Marcia as well moved into this house together with Marylena, and they started up their family together. Next, we have their eldest son, Laurent, and he is a popularity sim, and his hobby is games. So he enjoys playing on the pinball machines. And he is a Leo, extremely outgoing, playful, and active, but also extremely sloppy and grouchy. So he's quite a character. And he's just barely fit. I think that comes from being in the soccer club as a child. Right now, he doesn't have a secondary aspiration, of course, and he has like a teenage dream of becoming a celebrity chef, but I'm sure that will change when he grows older as well. Looking at his relationships, he doesn't really have any romantic one yet, even though he wants to have his first kiss. He doesn't really have anyone who he wants to share that with. So right now he's just been focusing on friendships with Poppy Burb, Nero Caliente, and Hazel Cooper mainly. But we'll have to see what kind of people he meets. He's still quite young, so it's possible that any of the younger kids will grow up and become more interesting to him eventually. Then we have the middle child, Nico, who is in the middle of getting ready for the day, it looks like. So he's just a kid right now. And he is a Aries. So he's also very outgoing and active, but he's far more neat than his brother. And he's also very, very serious. And he's moving up a little bit towards being fit, I think. And his hobby is music and dance. So he is, of course, in the ballet club right now. But other than that, we don't really know much more about him. He's close friends with both Will Burb and Kian Miguel, and fairly close as well with Hallie Stratton and her sisters. Yeah, he's also friends with Luke Broke, so he's quite sociable, really. It's pretty impressive that he gets along so well with Kian because he's very grouchy. I think that Nico will turn into a very interesting person as he grows up. And finally, we have little Cecily. And she's going to grow up today, actually, so we'll get to see what she looks like as a child. And looking at her personality, oh, I don't know about her hobby yet, so we'll have to find out. But she is a Cancer, actually. So she is very nice, or like more nice anyway, and pretty neat and not as active or outgoing as her brothers, really, and pretty serious as well. So she has taken after her mother, I think. Yeah. Yeah, so the boys are taking after Joe a little bit more, and Cecily is taking after Marylena a bit more. So that's sweet. And I really like the way that she looks. I think that she's going to be very attractive once she grows older as well. And then we have the little dogs, and first we have poor little Scout, who is very, very filthy. So he will need a bath eventually. But he's in his elder years, and he's very close to finishing up that as well. So we'll have to see how long he stays alive for. He absolutely hates Lucky, though. They are not getting along at all. Lucky is feeling better about Scout, but yeah, Scout really detests him. They have been getting off on the wrong foot from the start, to be honest, and things have not gotten better for them. But yeah, Scout is a pretty nice dog as well, independent, and yeah, he's a pig pen, so that actually makes sense with how filthy he has become now. So, but looking at Lucky, yeah, a little bit different. So he's a genius, actually, very friendly, but also extremely aggressive. So yeah, not a good combination with these two. But yeah, he has 5 more days until he ages up, so he's younger, and he seems to be getting along with everyone pretty well, except for Scout, that is. All right, so technically I would send Marylena back to work immediately, but the thing is that when I played the daycare, she actually had the opportunity to bring her own daughter with her. So technically, Cecily would be at the daycare center now as well. And that complicates things a bit, playing this family, because of course I can't send her away somewhere. I could, but it would be pretty complicated. So I think that I prefer to actually just keep Marylena home. Since I'm playing as 1 day equals 1 year in their life, it doesn't really bother me that it doesn't match exactly that way. It just feels nice when it does, but I mean, this is just going to be a representation of what happened this year for them. So, I mean, of course, Marylena would be home with her daughter some of the days as well. So that makes sense to me, at least. So I'm going to keep her home, actually, and I'm going to send the others away. So she has 10 vacation days anyway, so I'm just going to let her have that. And I think that Cecily has actually learned everything. So she doesn't have to learn anything more. So that's good. So I think that Joe is just going to put her in the chair, and he needs to use the bathroom, I think. Yeah, here you can see the arcade machine that he that he likes. And yeah, Marylena is making the bed, so she's going around and cleaning things up a bit. So Nico can watch some TV for now, I think, and after Joe has fed Cecily, he can use the bathroom. Yeah, as you can see, they They fight all the time, these two. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that they should probably have... Yeah, he should have time to eat breakfast anyway. Yeah, let's just leave the boys, but I think that Joe should definitely have something to eat. So let's just grab some sort of sandwich for him. Right, and Cecily needs to use the potty. So let's wash Scout. He really needs it. Right, so Joe as well as Laurent and Nico were all having the flu. But it looks like Joe was cured, so that's good. I'm just gonna send the boys to school actually, rather than keeping them home. I think that is going to be fine. They can rest up some in the evening if that's necessary. Nice. And she can actually wash Lucky as well, because Lucky was a bit filthy too, even though he wasn't stinky. Right, so Joe is going to catch up on the news, but he doesn't have that much time until he needs to leave, so it's gonna be very quick. He just had the time to glance at it, and then he needs to head off. Yeah, and Laurent is healthy again already, so that's good. Yeah, so Cecily is just playing around in here right now, so that's fine. And then I'm going to make some sort of breakfast for Marylena. Oh, nice, she got a new cooking skill. Yeah, that's good. Oh, speaking of which, I need to add the job stopinators, because both of these guys have roles in their careers, so I don't want either of them to get promoted. Yeah, Joe shouldn't be promoted because he doesn't have the skills, so... But anyway. Yeah, so Marylena is thinking about her happy marriage and the way that she really enjoys her life right now. It's very calm and ordered in this household, and yeah, I think that she's living just the way that she wants to live, really. But due to certain events recently, I think that she's also feeling a little bit guilty, because she basically stole Meadow from Andrea. And now Andrea doesn't really have anyone else at the elementary school who can look after the younger children. So she's in a little bit of trouble, and it's all Marylena's, well, technically it's her fault, but I mean, yeah, in work life that's just how it is. But yeah, I think that she's thinking a lot about that and what she can do to help Andrea, because she's not comfortable about screwing someone over like that. She wants to make amends in some way. So I think that she would definitely try to figure out a way to find someone else to fill in for Meadow at the elementary school. And the thing is that Marsha has been talking to her a bit, and what with the recent wedding and everything, introduced Marylena to someone that she thinks could fit the position perfectly. It's one of her closest friends, and it's someone that you have already met quite a few times in this neighborhood. So I'm actually going to summon her over and have her introduce herself to Marylena. There she is, of course. It is Elizabeth Monif that I've been having in mind for the new position at the elementary school. So I think that she would be the perfect candidate to take over for Meadow. So she's going to come and visit Marylena. So I'm going to have Marylena come out here and greet her. Perfect. So I think that these guys would sit down together and just chat for a little bit and get to know one another. And of course, Elizabeth has a lot to say about like being friends with Marcia, of course. And I think that, of course, Elizabeth thinks it's a brilliant idea. Right now, she has a job that she doesn't really like, and she's feeling overworked, and that she wants to try something new. She's been trying to find some sort of career where she can take care of either grown-ups or children, really. And seeing as she doesn't have the correct education to join the medical career, she would definitely be interested in the education one instead. Yeah, so it looks like they are agreeing, and Elizabeth is liking the idea that Marylena had. So I think that Marylena is going to sneakily invite over both Andrea and Elizabeth over for dinner tonight and have them meet and discuss things. And that will make Marylena feel a lot better about how she snatched Meadow away. So for now, she's going to say goodbye to Elizabeth and say that she's welcome back tonight for dinner. And she seems pretty happy about that. Great. So Cecily is sleeping right now. She's going to wake up soon. And looks like the dogs are feeling quite good. They're both sleeping on the beds. All right. Yeah. So Marylena can go ahead and clean a little bit for now. And there's the cue that the toddler is out of the bed. Yeah, she's going to age up today, so it doesn't really matter. But I think I'm going to stop using this bed because that happens when they exit the bed, get out of the bed, and it's a bit annoying. So I'm just going to switch, not pick that out again, and I possibly remove it from my catalog as well. But yeah, she's awake and she can go ahead and use the potty. Marylena can make some coffee, I think. Nice, so she's feeling a bit refreshed. Cecily's playing in here, but I think it would be nice if they could play together. So looks like Laurent got some money for winning the Spelling Bee championship. That's nice. All right, so why don't we head in here and teach her a nursery rhyme? She wants to anyway. Okay, so Laurent is back from school. Looks like he brought a friend. I think I would like this door to open up the other way. I think that will be better. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's just going to say goodbye to him. I'm not all that interested in that friendship. He has so many playable sims to hang out with anyway. Great. Yeah, I mean, he could invite over Nero, I think, to hang out a bit. So let's call him. Great. He's a little bit hungry actually, so let's just grab some juice. Okay, I think that, yeah, she got the cue to invite him in, but let's have Laurent do it. Wow, he's taking a long time drinking that. Right, and this is of course Don Lothario and Nina Caliente's son. So let's just chat to start up. Yeah. Okay, so he is very bored, so I'm thinking that it would be fun for them to play some Command and Conquer, maybe. So let's see if we can have ask him to join, yeah. Okay, so looks like she gained a point in charisma from getting taught this, but she hasn't learned it yet. Okay, looks like Nero had enough of playing, so let's stop that, and I can send them up to Lauren's bedroom to hang out a bit, I think. Oh, he wants to do it here, but it's better to do it up here, I think. And Nico is returning from school. So let's walk up here. And Cecily was taught how to sing, or she was taught the nursery rhyme, that is. And she needs to eat a bit, I think, so let's put her in the chair. Yeah, so I'm going to call him over. Yeah, and he's really, really bored and sick, but maybe he wants to practice a little bit on his piano. That should be fun for him. Great, so let's hang out. No, okay, that wasn't very fun for him. So let's watch some TV instead, I think. It's better. You don't like that? Oh, he really doesn't enjoy that. It's because he's active. Sorry, I don't know what else to do with you, kid. So let's change to SimStation's dance. Yeah, okay, so she's sitting there. I actually need to let her out. Right, so I think that seeing as there will be so many at three so many at the table, I think it would be nice to actually have some sort of barbecue instead tonight to yeah. So I mean, if I have this grill here, like I did, and then I put out some sort of tables outside, something like this long table maybe. You know, it would be fun as well to invite over Marsha and Dorian actually. So let's make it a long table with 2 tables. Yeah, something like that maybe. And then chairs, of course. Yeah. Great. So then we could I also need to put in this variable meal server so that I can make as many meals as I need. So I guess it would be this 5 plus 9, I guess it would be. So let's set it to 9. She can have some more coffee, I think, to boost in her energy a bit. Oh, we have Nero here as well. He should probably be able to stay, right, for dinner. So set it to 10 instead. Oh, let's do it with her instead. So set it to 10. And she'll do that after she's had her coffee. Yep, perfect. So let's just call these guys and invite them over. Why? You should be pretty close. That doesn't make any sense. I guess I'll just summon them all instead. Things like this, when you play this kind of storytelling playstyle, can get a bit annoying. I understand the game mechanic, but yeah. I mean, if your mom is calling you over for dinner, you won't say that. Yeah, so let's yeah, so let's start with that and see if I can have her call over Andrea instead. She might also say no, so we'll see. Ugh. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and summon all of them because, yeah. I mean, they're colleagues in a way. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me that they would be so against each other. They're not enemies or anything. Good. And also let's summon Elizabeth. There we go. All right. So we have everyone here. And yeah, can go ahead and chat with all of them, I think. I think just to make sure that no one just leaves suddenly, I'm just going to make them all selectable. That will make it possible for me to interact with them as well better. So let's just greet Dorian to start with. And of course also Marsha. I mean, she's not that poorly in that poor of a relationship with her, so it's strange that she would say no, I think. That was a bit random. Yeah. Looks like Andrea and Elizabeth are introducing themselves, so that's perfect, actually. So I'm just going to have her come out here and greet Andrea as well. But looks like they didn't get along that naturally, I see. It's nice. Let's just chat a little bit with Andrea to start with. For some reason, Dorian started to argue with Elizabeth. That's interesting. All right. Yeah, but I think it's about time that Marylena started on the dinner. So let's see. Let's go with hamburgers. Right, and Cecily is going to age up now, so as soon as she's out of the bed, that's going to happen. And I also think that it would be nice to have some sort of lighting out here. So let's see what we should have. Yeah, that's okay, I think. So it looks like we have quite a few hungry people here, I think. They're all coming to eat. Right, so you need to be selectable as well, because I think that you can just sit here and wait to eat instead. You can sit down here. Yep, Cecily's out of the bed, and she's soon to age up. Okay, he's sleeping for some reason, so let's just bump that up a bit and have him come down as well. Oh, okay, no. Marylena, you shouldn't eat in there. So let's just put that down and bring this here. I'm pressing the M key to switch where it's positioned. But for some reason it doesn't want to go where I want it. I guess I just put it on the ground and ask her to eat then. And she's going inside. No. Andrea actually doesn't have a plate there, so let's just have that there. So I guess I'll put that there and just temporarily lock this door. Lock for all sims. Also lock this for all sims. Bring her outside and try to have her eat. Good, now she's sitting down properly. Perfect, so I can go ahead and ask them all to eat now that all of them are sitting. I actually also want to see if Cecily is going to age up. So I'm going to do it manually, so she can also join in with the party outside. Awesome. I can lock in the friend one for her, I think. And yeah, so she has grown into a child. And she's apparently in this soccer outfit. Probably her father who picked that one. But yeah. Don't know why she stopped eating, so I'm going to have her. Yeah. They wanted to watch that, I think. So I'm just going to make sure that everyone is eating. I think that maybe the age up was interrupting it. Yeah, because everyone stopped eating. Yes, let's just bring this down a little bit. And then grab this. And grab this. And then ask her to also eat. And then she will take the last chair there. Great, and then I can unlock these doors again. And this can go back on the counter. Perfect. So of course Elizabeth and Andrea are placed very strategically next to each other. Right, so Marylena is starting with the cleaning up. And yeah, Cecily is also cleaning up a bit. I think I can make Nero unselectable now as well as Dorian and Marcia. Right, so I think I'm just going to gussy her up to buy some good clothes for her. Nice, so she's got some nice clothes to wear now, so I'm just going to change her into her everyday outfit. Great, so what I don't know about her is her hobby, so I think I'm just going to leave her to her own devices for a moment and see what happens. And this guy is pretty tired, so let's have him take a shower and then head to bed to sleep for a while. I think that Laurent can probably say goodbye to Nero at this point. He's in here. Well, he's playing again, so maybe he can join him because he's a bit bored again. Joe really needs to use the bathroom though. Oh, okay, and this is broken. So use that, and yeah, he's pretty handy, so I think that he should be able to repair it. And yeah, so they're just hanging out here. Right, so these guys are all dog lovers, really. So I think that that makes sense that they would be chatting about their pets. Right, so Marcia is leaving as well. Right, so now that they're left alone, I think that Marylena would actually hash out her idea to these guys that she would like Andrea to consider Elizabeth for the position as the new elementary school teacher to take over for Meadow. And I think that Andrea is pretty surprised, but also delighted to have received some help from a friend like this, because she was feeling a little bit desperate, like she needed to solve something pretty quickly and she didn't know how to do it. So she's pretty happy with this development, I think. And she is going to take the opportunity to spend some more time with Elizabeth now on her own and chat. So I think that Marylena is going to clean up a bit and leave them to themselves to discuss things. Yeah, so I think that Laurent is feeling pretty tired and done with all of this. I don't know where Nero is. Did he leave? Oh, he's up here. So let's say goodbye to him. Okay, for some reason he wants to talk to Joe about his hobby. Maybe he wants some advice from a doctor, seeing as he's so into fitness, but Joe's like, I'm off the clock, kid. I don't want to talk about your health issues right now. So yeah, let's go and repair this. Yeah, and they're saying goodbye with a hug. So he's going to use this. Okay. He didn't find the door for some reason. All right, and then just have a shower. This guy is a little bit recovered, I think, so looks like Joe might not have reached the... Yeah, okay. So maybe I could help Nico, have him help Nico with homework. And she's drinking coffee. And these guys are coming to an agreement, I think. I think that Andrea is going to give Elizabeth a go and see how things work themselves out and if she's suitable to this position. So Elizabeth has just landed herself a trial job. And yeah, we're gonna see how this lands. So I'm just going to make them unselectable again. And she is done with the coffee, so I think that she's going to head out here and say goodbye to both of them. Okay. Help him with the homework, please. This guy needs to sleep, I think. Great. And yeah, she has said goodbye to them, and she's going to clean up. And no, do we know anything about you yet? Not really. Okay. Sometimes watching TV helps. So you can switch between the channels and see what pops up. Just gonna do a round and see what happens. So it's not music and... Oh, it was science! That's so interesting. She has the same hobby as her older sister, Marsha. I love that. That's so cool. All right then, so she's going to be a little science girl. Yeah. But seeing as this dinner is done, I'm going to sell these things and also this. And I'm also going to change things around a little bit in here. All right then, so this is little Cecily's room. And seeing as she's into science, I also put in a telescope out here that she can use. So I think that I'm actually going to allow her to do that now. Yeah, so stargaze. And he's being taught. Yeah, since he's been sleeping a bit now, I think that Lawrence would go up and grab something from the fridge because he's feeling pretty hungry. Typical teenager. Yeah, so since seems like Joe never repaired this, I'm going to have Marylena do it instead. Okay, so there's nothing in the fridge because the leftovers have glitched out of it. Apparently Joe is sick again. Oh no. So fill the bowl and then you can have something. Let's grab some, yeah, some sort of sandwich, I think. Okay, so they're playing around. So it looks like, yeah, Nico is still sick as well. So I'm just gonna send him to bed, and Joe is also tired and sick, so he's going to head in there. Nice, so Laurent got the cooking skill. That's perfect. Way to go, Marylena. Finally. That's perfect. So why don't you have a bath and then go to bed as well? Yeah, so it would be nice to actually develop a better relationship to Marsha, I think, with Cecily, seeing as they're the two girls in the family and they're both into science. So it looks like she hasn't really interacted with Marsha yet, so I'm going to have to make that happen. Perhaps Marsha can babysit her sometime or something. That would be nice. Okay, so apparently Lauren thought that it was a good idea to drink some coffee in the middle of the night. Maybe he's like me and doesn't get affected by coffee. Yeah, so these guys are cuddling up together in bed. Oh, I forgot to put in the rug again. Let's go ahead and do that. Yes, I think that Laurent would see that she's up. So I think that he would go out here and chat and tell her that it's very late. She needs to go to bed. She has her first day at school tomorrow, of course, so she needs to get ready for that. So I need to also consider what club she's going to be in. I mean, she's science, so that doesn't really tell me anything. She's not very active, but she's not lazy either. What are her interests? She's very into sports. And she, of course, also has her father, who is extremely interested in sports. And she's not very into culture. So I think that it makes sense that she would be in the soccer club then. So that's what I'm going to do for her. So she's going to head to bed, and Laurent is also going to do that. And then that marks the end of the Bruenig family and also the end of this first season of the Let's Play series. I'm so excited to have all the families done and to be able to move on to season 2. There are some things that are going to change. in the new season, and because we're past the character introductions, we don't really have to spend time on that. So I will let you know a little bit more in the next episode. It's going to be sort of a closing episode where I do some maintenance and prepare for the start of season 2. There are some community buildings that I want to build for one thing, and yeah, there's some things that I need to prepare as well. So I'll bring you with me on that journey, and yeah, I hope that we can figure things out, and I'm very very excited to move on to the next part of this, because I mean it's taking me a year to move around in the neighborhood once. So yeah, some things are going to switch around for sure for the next season. But yeah, I'm going to also update my spreadsheet now that Cecily has aged up. So we're going to go to Bruenig, and it's Cecily, and she is a child now. And her hobby is science. And then I'm also going to bump her up once here. So she's not going to be in the daycare center anymore. She's going to be in the elementary school. Very exciting. Perfect. And then also, of course, the clubs. So yet another kid in the football club. Oh, that's funny. I think that was how I spelled it, right? Yes. No, not really. Cecily. Like that. All right, and then I'm prepared. So, thank you so much for watching this episode and for watching the series if you've seen it from the start as well. And I hope you're excited to see the next closing episode as well. So have a nice day and take care. See you next time. Bye.